You have used Nmap, maybe even Metasploit, but Kali Linux is packed with over 600 tools and most hackers never touch 90% of them. Today, I'm going to show you 10 powerful Kali Linux tools that most people overlook, but you could level up your ethical hacking game fast. So let's dive in. So first up, we have recon-ng. As Metasploit for reconnaissance, it's a modular framework for gathering OSINT. You can plug in APIs, automate domain scanning, and generate reports, all from a terminal-based interface. To particularly install this recon-ng in your system or to run this in your Kali, what you have to do, you have to run a command recon-ng. Then you have to install the marketplace install all. So let me going to show you how you can install it. So we have to first run recon-ng. Then after that you have to install the marketplace, and then you have to provide marketplace, then install all. So when you run this command, every marketplace that recon-ng has will be installed in your system. Okay, and after that you can easily run the other commands. If you want to perform the subdomain enumeration, if you want to find out the domain information, so whatever you want to perform, you can perform it. After that we have tool DNS-enum. So DNS-enum is the DNS enumeration tool. DNS-enum is perfect tool for DNS reconnaissance. It grabs subdomains, zone transfers if possible, and can brute force also for DNS records with a word list. So if you want to find out DNS records with a word list, then DNS-enum will be a perfect tool for you. So how to run this particular tool? You have to run the command in your terminal, which is dns-enum and example.com. Right, so I'm going to show you how you can run this command. So you have to type I'm going to stop this recon-ng, and then you have to type dns-enum, and suppose this is your domain name, so you can run the command. So here you can get every DNS records with the help of dns-enum. Okay, so you are able to gather the vulnweb, the IP address, which is name servers, then MX records, zone transfers. It is trying if possible, then it is brute forcing with a word list. Okay, so it's very helpful tool for you if you are performing DNS enumeration. Then we have another tool, which is the harvester. This tool is helpful for email and subdomain scraper. If you want to gather emails, subdomains, employee names using OSINT from search engines like Google, Bing, LinkedIn. So if you need emails, subdomains, or employee names, then the harvester scraps from Google, Bing, LinkedIn, or more. So it is great for pre-attack recon. So how you can use it? You have to run this command, the harvester space -d example.com -b all. If you want to particularly scan with a particular search engine, then you have to provide the name. So you can provide something like -b space Bing, -b space Google, -b space LinkedIn, or other search engines that has available in the harvester. The next tool we have is WP scan. It is useful for WordPress vulnerability scanner, or it is when you want to scan a WordPress based applications. So it basically scans for the vulnerable plugins, themes, or brute force the login pages of WordPress. So it is built and maintained by the WP scan team, and the command to run this tool is WP scan -URL and then your target name. The next tool we have is dir search. Dir search is basically web directory brute forcer, a fast command line tool to brute force directories and files on websites to uncover hidden paths. So suppose if you have a target and you want to discover some hidden paths, hidden directories, right? You want to discover some sensitive data. So basically for content discovery purpose, you can use this tool. So the command you have to run, first you have to clone it from GitHub, then you have to go to the directory of dir search. After that you can run this command. You can run simply dirsearch.py with the help of Python. So Python 3, then dirsearch.py -u, which is for URL, and then your domain name. So in dir search there is a already word list available, but if you want to use your custom word list, then you can use another options called -w, and then the path of your word list. The next tool we have is MSF Venom. It is known as payload generator. So it basically combines the MSF payload and MSF encode. So in MSF payload we want to perform the attacks, and for MSF encode we want to encode our payloads. So using those two modules in MSF, we want to create some custom payloads for exploitation. So it's very useful for in post exploitation. So the command will be, or you can choose any other payloads as well. So MSF Venom, then payload, whatever payload you will choose, you can place it here, and after that using lhost your IP, and then lport your port number, then file type exe, and whatever the file name you want to save this payload or exploit to. The next tool we have is Nikto. It is a web vulnerability scanner. So if you want to scan some web applications, so you can easily scan this. So it is a fast, straightforward scanner that checks for outdated softwares, insecure configurations, or some known vulnerabilities on websites. So you can run this tool with the option Nikto and then -h and your target name. After that we have Fears. So Fears is basically a tool which used for DNS brute forcing tool. It is known as DNS brute forcing tool. So it helps you to identify subdomains or internal IPs by performing DNS swaps, right? So it's handy when the harvester doesn't catch everything. So if the harvester is not particularly giving you the output, then you can use the Fears tool as an alternative. So the command will be Fears space -- domain and then your domain name. So if you want to perform some deep level DNS recon, so it's very good for pen testers, you can use it. The next tool we have is CEWL. It is custom word list generator. So you want to create a word list on your own depending on the applications. So you can use this tool. So it will create a word list by crawling the website and scraping keywords from the HTML. So whatever the keywords we have in our HTML source code, the tool will scrap it and stored into a file. So it's very important if you want to create custom word lists and then use those word lists to perform fuzzing or a content discovery. So it is very useful. The command should be CEWL, then your target name and whatever or where you want to store your word list to. So you can provide -w and your file name. So whatever the output is stored into your given file. The next tool we have is Evil WinRM. So it is a WinRM exploitation tool generally used in AD exploitation. So it's basically allow access to Windows machine over WinRM, which is Windows remote management. So when credentials are known and you want to access those machines, so you will use this Evil WinRM. So it's very useful in CTFs. If you are solving CTFs or if you are playing CTFs, then you will need some kind of tool if the Windows credentials are known, and if you want to get the access, then Evil WinRM is for you. So the command is very simple, is Evil WinRM, then -i, basically input whatever the IP address of that machine, and then -u is username and then the password. As soon as you will hit enter, you will get the access. So basically you can use these tools in groups. So if you are doing the recon, then you can use the recon ng, harvester or DNS enum. If you are performing the web scanning, so for vulnerability scanning for web, you can use Nikto, WP scan or dir search. And if you are generally doing for post exploitation, so MSF enum, Evil WinRM, or for creating a custom word list, so this is a CEWL.